All right. Today we're going to talk about a name that, for a few intense days, absolutely everyone knew. But this isn't just about that moment. This is a story about what happens long after the headlines have faded. I want you to think back a bit. Does that phrase, the Borewell boy, ring a bell? A little kid dropped 60 feet underground, and it felt like the entire country just stopped and held its breath. It was one of those stories of survival you just don't forget. But here's the thing, that incredible rescue, that was really just the beginning of his journey. So the big question is, where is he now? What happened to that little boy at the bottom of the well? So we're actually going to start with the present. Before we dive back into the accident itself, I think it's really important to meet the man that he's become today. So this is Prince. 20 years later, he's not the Borewell boy anymore. He's a young man, navigating all the challenges of adult life, trying to find a job, and carrying this unbelievable story with him. But his focus? It's not on the past. It's all about building his future. Okay, so to really understand his resilience, we have to go back to that one fateful day and a simple, innocent childhood moment that changed absolutely everything. It's just wild how fast a normal day can turn into a nightmare. It started as a simple game. Prince and his friend Angres were just chasing a rat. The rat ran into a borewell that was just covered with an old sack. And what do kids do? They jumped on the sack. In an instant, it ripped, and Prince was just gone. Just try to wrap your head around that number. 60 feet. That is like falling from a 6-story building, but not in the open. You're falling into a narrow, dark, underground pipe. The sheer terror of that is something I don't think any of us can truly imagine. And what came next was this absolutely extraordinary race against time. This wasn't just some local incident. No, it blew up into a national event, a true testament to human spirit and determination. The whole rescue really hinged on his friend, Angres. The kid didn't panic. He immediately ran to get help. And that single act kicked off this incredible chain of events that, after 50 agonizing hours, finally ended with Prince being brought back to safety. But getting him out was so difficult. It was all trial and error. Their first thought was to lower a rope with a light bulb so he could see and maybe climb up. But the bulb got so hot, it actually burned his hands, and he had to let go. That failure forced them to think way bigger, which led to this incredible plan to dig a whole new shaft right next to the borewell. And that's a really crucial point. This whole operation got so complex and so dangerous that the local teams had to call in the army. That just tells you the sheer scale of the effort and how incredibly hard it was to get him out safely. So he was saved. The whole country celebrated. But the story doesn't end there, does it? I mean, what happens after something like that? What do you even remember? And how does it shape the person you grow up to be? Prince's memories of the whole thing are, understandably, a little fuzzy. But this one is so powerful. He remembers being trapped 60 feet down in the dark and hearing his parents' voices from above ground. That was his lifeline, this promise of hope, telling him not to give up. So he wasn't just alone down there in the dark. He remembers that constant connection to the world above him, that rope coming down with food and supplies. Little things, but they were absolutely crucial to keeping him alive for those 50 hours. And if you look at his life now, you see that same fight. He's skilled. He completed his ITI training and is out there looking for work. For a while, he actually wanted to join the army, the very institution that saved him. Kind of a beautiful full circle thing to want to become the rescuer. It was a tough setback when he didn't meet the height requirement, but he hasn't lost that optimism. He's still pushing. And this really brings us to the core message of his whole story. It's not just about the dramatic event, is it? It's about the long, quiet journey that comes after. Because here's the thing, survival is one thing, but living, that's another. Prince's story is such a powerful reminder that sometimes the biggest challenges show up after the crisis is over. It's about that daily act of defining yourself by who you want to be, not just by what happened to you. So this is the thought I kind of want to leave you with. We all celebrate these dramatic rescues, right? But maybe true resilience is a lot quieter than that. Maybe it's just the daily effort, the continued hope, and the quiet determination to build your own future, long after the rest of the world has stopped watching.